Right. Hello and welcome back to Ecosystem Free Online Lesson. My name is Nabi Fikri Shaizan and I'm an application engineer from Ecosystem. So for today's free online lessons, we'll show you a little bit about Inventor, Pack, and Go. Right. So basically what we're going to do here is that we're going to manage our file. Right. So using Pack and Go as our main source, but other than that, I will also talk a little bit about the Inventor Design Assistant and also the Autodesk Drive. Right, so I'll show you my screen. Right, so starting with the Autodesk Drive. So Pack and Go is what we use to basically copy our files so that we want to send to our as a colleague or maybe our vendors or customers, and you want to include all of the files here. So that will be the Pack and Go. Well, the design assistant here is that allows you to copy only a small bit of parts just for you to make a few versions or maybe just play around and do some testings without breaking the original files, which is the original single files or the part files. So to access the design assistance, so there are a few ways that you can do that. So for the design assistance, so first of all, so let's say if I found my parts over here and I would like to copy several of them. This part over here. Right, so let me just open this one. Right. So I have my stapler over here and I would like to create another a version of the staplers which have maybe this plastic here is a transparent version, so maybe different colors. So instead of copy everything, so I can just copy these two items over here, and it will allow you to create different assembly files which have these two here as a new items while retaining the rest of this. So you don't copy everything, just copy these two, and it will allow you to create a different version. So that is the design assistance. So how to go to the design assistance? So there are two ways. One is that you can just right click at the stapler over here, right, and then add your models. Then you can go to the show all for Windows 11 or in the 10. You should be able to see over everything from here automatically. And here we have design assistance. And same goes to Pack and Go later on if you want. So you can also right click and you will find Pack and Go from here. So design assistance, you click design assistant over here, and it gives me this interface. So we have three different interface: properties, preview, and manage. Mostly you will look at the manage here. The preview is only just preview of these items, and the properties is just the show you what the item actually lists. For this case, you can just go to the manage. So this will be the area that allow you to do some editings to your project file here. You can create copies, you can also rename. But overall, first of all, if I go over here and try to click and open, so I cannot do that, then just right click, so nothing actually happens because my file here need to be the same files as the version that I have for my Inventor, right, and the design assistance. Currently, my design assistant is 2024, but my stapler here is actually created with the lower version of Inventors. So you need to make sure that all of this part is saved as a current version of Inventor, which is Inventor 2024. So one of the ways that you can just open one of the files here, and then you can just save, right? So for example, let me just close this one first. Oops. Right, for example, let me just open this one first. So you can just right click at the file here, and then you can go to show more options, and it will show you the design assistant and Pack and Go. Right, so you can access from here. You can also access the design assistant from the all apps. You can find the Autodesk Inventor 2024, and you should be able to find the design assistant. So this is design assistant. I believe I haven't shared my screen before. I accidentally saved the different screen, but I'll show you again about the design assistant. All right. So let's say if I go to the components here, and I would like to do some changes over here. So first thing is, if I right click and open with the design assistance, right? So right away, I cannot do anything. I cannot open, I cannot save. It's because I need to save this file as a current version of 2024. So for this case, I'm just going to go with this bottom part here, and I'm going to open Design Inventor. So all I need to do from here is that I need to save. Once I have saved, and right click again, you can go to the design assistant from here. Now when I click, I can now copy this file. Right. So this file can be edited right now. Okay, so what if you have many files from here, for example, assembly files, so you don't want to do it one by one. So you can just save all files from here. So don't go to the file, save. So instead of save or save at the button here, you need to save all. So common mistake here, when people just save over here, it does not save everything. It's just save this assembly file. So you cannot open and edit inside Design Assistant. So make sure to go save and save all. So all of the file will be saved. And then you can go ahead and open back again the Design Assistance. And then from here, you can just open and find my assembly files. And I can hit open. And when I click, and I can now copy this file. Right, I cannot copy the individual file yet. I need to copy the assembly file first. And then the rest of this file will allow to be copied as well. So the things that I would like to make the change here is the upper front and also the bottom front here. So I'm going to check copy for that file as well. Bottom front, so I'm going to set to copy. And if I would like to replace different, so you can also replace, or you can also rename from here. But I'm just going to copy. So bottom front and the top front, I believe it's named. Upper front. Okay, so upper front. Front here, copy, and the thing is, it's showing you under the modify here is required edit, meaning this name that we copy here will be the same as the original file. So you need to copy first, so require copy. So you can go to the name and you can just change the name here, so it will become different. So I'm going to name this, let's say, version 2. And this one as well, change the name. I'm going to change the as version 2 as well. And this one is version 2 as well. So 3 of the file has been renamed. And last thing I need to do here is that I click save. And update is complete. So I can turn this one off. And I still have the original, still the same, nothing changed here. But if I open up the other versions, which is version number 2, so I have version number 2, which has several other parts similar, but the other parts that I have changed, which is version number 2. So I can make some changes from here. Let's say I want this version to have a transparent plastic. So I'm gonna select this as a PET plastics, and I'm gonna give it a different color. So I have a cool version of my stapler here. And I also want to have the other one, which is the top one. That PET as well. And let's give this one as a green color. So let's change. And I'm gonna save all. Oops. Save all. Right, so I have another version of my stapler, which is slightly cool. I have a transparent stapler over here, and I still have the original one, so I can open up these two files separately. So I have the normal one and the transparent one. Right, so I have two versions of my stapler. Right, so quite cool. So you can see we have separate file here, but some of the items still retain the same. So if I edit this item over here, so both of these will be changed as well. So let me just make some slight edits. Maybe I'll give it, say, gold color. And I hit return, so I have two the same gold. But because of this two here, I create this a new copy, so it will become different. So I don't need to copy everything and just redo that. So it's very easy for you to manage your item. All right, so that is design assistant where you can copy several other files. And now I would like to send my files to other persons, so maybe my vendors or my colleague. So for that case, you can go and use Pack and Go. So again, Pack and Go, you can just directly find from the window browser over here, just right click and you have this Pack and Go. Okay. So the Pack and Go is very simple. So you can see the interface is quite easy for you to manage. Right, so that is one way. The other way is that when you open up your file here, you can also Pack and Go directly from here. When you go to Save As, then you have a Pack and Go here, right? So it's quite convenient. So whether you work with the parts or you haven't opened up the files, you can choose either of these two methods. So the first thing that I have from the Pack and Go here is my destination folder. Now, Pack and Go allow you to pack everything, all of the file related to this file over here, right? So any missing files, potentially missing files that I may store at some of the places, so it will allow you to basically copy the files for this item only, right? So for example, if I go to my component over here, you can see I also have another assembly, which is the turbine over here. So at the component, so it's a little bit mixed, right? So these are the exhaust intake. Okay? So mixed items. So it's going to be quite difficult for me to pick the item that related to my stapler only, right? So Pack and Go allow to find the link and you can easily find the item. Another things that you can do from here before that, so you need to specify your destination folder, which will create all the copies from this file. And then you can select the location that I want. So for this case, I'm going to go with the Pack and Go folder, and I'm going to send to the send item folder here. So, right. So once that has been specified, so let's take a look at the option here. So whether I want to copy at the single path or maybe keep folder hierarchy. Right, so this one is only for the folder. So if I select single path, so my stapler here and my list of parts here will be stored at one folder. Since I only have one folder here and my assembly only at the outside here, so for that case, I'm just going to leave it as single path. And from here, I can also select whether I want to keep models only, right? Or maybe I want to include link files as well. So maybe you have pictures, or maybe you have Excel file, which is linked to my files here. So you can just click include link files. So I also have several other things that I can control from here. Before that, I can also find a reference file here. So what this does, that allow you to, maybe you have different project file, you can click to switch to different project file, but for my case, it's correct already. And I can select search now. So it's going to list all of my model, and it only link to my model only, right? So for my turbine intakes, that one will not be listed here, right? So it's easy for you to manage your files easily when you want to send to other people's, right? So if I take a look over here, we have MI19, which is the original one. I also create another copy previously, which is the version number 2. So version number 2 does not include over here. So you need to create another one for that version. So it's easy for you to manage which version that you would like to send without sending everything. All right, let's get back to a few more settings from here. So the first thing is that we have skip libraries. So skip libraries is the parts of your content center file, which is bolt, screw, and nuts that are from the library there. So you may not want to skip the library files because if you send the file that has been pack and go without the library, so the person that opened that will have several missing files that have been created using library files such as bolt, screw, and nuts. Now, the pack and go also solve this problem because when people usually copy the assembly files, the assembly folders, usually they don't include library files as well, because the library file is actually located at different folder, right, inside of your PC. Most of the time it will be included inside of document folder. So how do you find the location of your library? Is that you can go to the properties, you can go to the project, and from here you can go to the folder options right over here. Right, so I have my content center files, then you will see it's actually located at the C folder, documents, and then inventor, content center files, something like that. Now, usually people don't copy these files, so they will have a bunch of missing parts. So if I take a look and show you where the location is, it's actually at Windows C, or you can also just directly go to the document here, and then inventors and inventor content center files. So this is what people need to copy as well when they want to set to other people, right? So bolt, screw, nut from the library will be created right over here. So again, if you use pack and go, so you don't need to copy from that folder because automatically the pack and go will allow you to include library as well, unless you click skip. For this case, I'm just gonna uncheck this skip. And then we have the collect work group. So this one, most of the times you can just ignore this if you're using single user, or maybe you use or store the file inside of a vault or something, so you can just ignore this. But if you have files that link to, let's say the file is actually the other file that you link is actually located at the server, for example, then you might want to click at the collect mode group because it will try to find the location of that folder to be included in this group as well. Down here we have skip styles. So skip styles, you can skip the style if you don't have your own type of style. So what styles actually is, so if I go to my inventor over here, the styles include the parts from on the manage here, you have the style editor, such as the lighting, the text settings, and not just that, you have the material settings. Maybe you create your own materials, right? So all of that kind of stuff, pipe, tube and pipes, wires. So if you have that kind of stuff, you make sure to unskip that stuff. But if you don't want, you can just click skip. And one thing that you may notice is that when you take a look at the total files over here, so we have around 186 files because I include the style as well. The thing is about the style, if you don't have your own style settings, you may want to skip because it will copy the default style, which is already created by the inventor. Right. So if you don't have your own, you can just skip. But for this case, I'm just gonna unskip just to show you what folder it will be created, location and the item set here. The same goes to the template file. So which is the template from here. So if you're using the default templates without creating a new, you can just skip. Again, for this case, I'm just gonna unskip. And from here, we have the packet as zip file. So if you want to create a zip, so you can just click to create a zip, and it will create, it will compile everything and create a zip file over here. So if you want to change the location, you can just select from here. And last thing is, before we proceed to create our file, is that we can also search the file from this folder. Sometimes there are other type of item that's not linked to this item. Over here, for example, if you take a look at the files here, I have IPT part files, I have assembly files, right? So I actually create drawing file as well, the animating file as well, right? Presentation file as well. So that one does not include here. So you need to click search now, and it will find that files for that presentation file and also drawing files. And it will include that file inside here as well. Then I can click to add that all of the file from here. So once I'm done, right? So be mindful of your total files and disk space required. So again, if you don't need those, you can just skip style and template. So you can see the space is actually quite small. Right, I can hit start. You can press OK. And I have set to send item folder, so that's not exist yet. So I want to create it. Right, so take a couple more seconds. When it shows done, then my conversion file is already complete. Okay, done. So let me open up my folder here. So okay, so I believe I created under chapter 9 under pack and go. So I have created this send item. So you can see here it's automatically zip the folder of my send item. So let's try to extract first. Right, and see what's inside of this folder here. Okay, so before I finish up my extracting, I can also double click to open. So you can see we have design data. So this is the styles. So if you take a look at design data, I have settings for band tables, cable and harness, materials, simulation. So all this stuff that that included inside of style. So if you don't need all of this default one, you can just stick to skip this file. And same goes with the template as well. So this is the templates that created the default one from Inventor. Right? So since I don't create my own type of templates. Right. So I believe so everything is here except for the copy files that I have created before. So you need to copy that files separately. So I need to do the same things with the version number 2. So I can right click and then I can select pack and go. And from here, I want to select search again. So there are several few things that I want to create from here. So I want to copy to single path. And the model here is the model files only. And again, I don't need the libraries. I don't need the styles, the templates. I still want to set as a package. And there are several other things that I don't need here as well because it's the same files that I have created before. So I can just uncheck the files that I don't need from here. So that is basically it, the tree, and then I can just hit start. Okay, so because I send into the same folder, okay, so override, so yes. So if I create different folder, it should send only that 3 item, but since I have created, so you can see the different item has been included inside of this send item as well. And all I need to do here is that I can just right click to archive this into a zip file. Yeah, obviously I need to delete this one first. But be mindful that even though this Pack and Go will find your related files, however, there are several items that may not include, such as the additional tools here. For example, if you have the cam item here, you may need to copy this one manually. Maybe you create submission for cam, or maybe you create nesting. So I have nesting from here. If I take a look, I believe it should be at the bottom here. So we have nesting one, which is not actually copy. So I need to copy this file manually and send to the item. So that one is the additional file, which is not on vanilla version of the Inventor. So I have put Pack and Go my files, and I would like to send to my colleague. And the last solutions that the Autodesk provide for you is that any subscriptions of the Autodesk product will allow you to have access to Autodesk Drive. So to have access to Autodesk Drive, I can just go to any browser and type in Autodesk Drive. And I can input my item over here. All right, so obviously you need to sign in first, meaning only those who are subscribed to Autodesk, whether they purchase Inventor 1-year license, AutoCAD 1-year license, then you're able to access this file. Right, and the limit storage for the Autodesk Drive should be around 25 gigs, right? So it's very convenient. So I can just copy, or I can just drag over here. Oops. Okay, I believe I drag the different folder. Okay, let me just leave it complete first. Okay. Right, so once you have done, for example, you can just get the link over here. So to get the link, you need to click at this 3 dot over here first, and then you can select downloads or share. Right, so for this case, you want to share, you want to send to everybody, you can just click share. Okay, close. Okay, I'm done. Close this one. Okay, so send items. So I can get the link. And currently the link is off. I can just click to turn on the link, and I can select get link over here, and I can send to everybody. Right, so if you want to test this file here, or you want to download, so you can just open up this file, and you should be able to download all of the file related to the file without any missing parts. So that is Pack and Go. Right, so okay, so I believe, all right, so you can just hit download, and you should be able to download that file. Right, so that is all that I would like to share with you about the Inventor Pack and Go. So thank you again for joining our free online lessons. I believe that's it. Thank you everyone, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.